Peace and blessings to Reverend Sandra and my classmates, my fellow classmates. My talk is based on a daily word message from December the 8th, 1983. The word for the day was faith, and the affirmation was, I have faith in God. God has faith in me. Today I'm going to share my story about having faith in God as it relates to me practicing tithing. I was first introduced to a Unity Church in 1978. And the service that I attended was a prosperity service with a focus on tithing. I decided at the end of that service that I was going to start tithing the following month. And that is what I did. I had no financial obligations at the time, and I felt that that was something that I could do, and I tithed the full tithe. I realized afterwards that what I was exercising there was blind faith. Now, several months after that, I was appointed the midwife on the district. And though I was given a free apartment to live in by the government, I had to furnish it. And so I purchased my furniture, including all appliances. I did this on terms. Now, doing that meant that I now had financial obligations to upkeep myself and to meet all my demands. By the time I got to the middle of the month, I realized that I was running low on cash. And I started to worry. Now, I began to question, how do I continue to tithe with my new financial responsibilities? The following month, I decided that I couldn't tithe anymore, and I stopped tithing. I did this for 2 months, but by the end of the following month, I realized that I was not doing better financially by not tithing. Now, a part of the daily word message says, quality as well as quantity counts when it comes to faith. But a little faith goes a long way. And Jesus said, if we have faith as a grain of mustard seed, we can move mountains. Now, the Bible story that I have chosen to share in my talk is taken from 2 Kings chapter 4, reading from verse 1 to 7. And it is the story of the widow who did not have enough money to pay her creditors, and she was about to lose her sons. They were to become slaves. And so she approached Elisha, and she told him her story. And Elijah asked her what she had in the house. And she said she only had a little bit of oil. He then instructed her to borrow as many empty vessels as she could. Then go in and shut the door behind you and your children and start pouring into all the vessels. When each is full, set it aside. Now, metaphysically, the widow represents the state of mind which has lost sight of its divine nature. We look at the outer appearance and we say we only have a little bit of this or a little bit of that, or a little bit of cash. Elijah represents the consciousness or the conscious awareness that we are children of God and that God is the source of our supply. The two children represent denial and affirmation. We are to shut the door, to look away from the outer appearance and focus on prayer and meditation, and Spirit will give us the increase. And so this is what I decided to do. I decided that I had to have faith in God to provide for me. So I resumed tithing. I continually blessed the money I had on hand and waited for the increase. And this is what happened. Now, on the district, we were not allowed to charge a fee whenever a case came to us. However, if we were offered a financial reward, we were free to accept it. And so I noticed as the weeks went by that whenever the money that I had on hand was reaching to that low point, I would receive a call for a case and I will be compensated for it. And that happened week after week after week. And this is how I survived receiving the money that I needed to meet all my financial needs. I'm not going to say that it was not challenging at times, it was. But I discovered that God had different ways to meet my needs. There was one particular occasion where we had a very large clinic today, and I had planned to go do some shopping with the money that I had to buy some items to prepare a meal. But then we had a very large clinic, and by the time the clinic was finished, the stores were closed. I felt exhausted, tired, hungry, and all the rest of it. Now, as we closed the doors of the clinic, I noticed a young woman coming to me with a basket. She was the granddaughter of a friend of mine. And she told me that her grandmother had sent her with this basket. One of the other children in the home was celebrating her birthday, and she decided to share what she had with me. I knew then that that was how Spirit was using them as a channel to bring me the food substance that I needed at that time. And so this is how having faith in God, using the little faith that I had at the time, because I was just at the beginning of understanding what Unity's teachings was about. And so I was able to prove by having faith in God that God had faith in me and that God would meet all my needs. Now, there's an affirmation that I learned just around that time, which said, faith is like elastic. Stretch it to the end of your demonstration. So my words that I want to leave with you is have faith in God, and God will have faith in you. Thank you for listening.